Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson, and I want to share how I survived one of the worst nightmares a mother could ever face. Picture this: I was 32, freshly divorced, and trying to juggle a demanding career in marketing while raising my adorable 8-month-old twins, Lily and Lucas. Life was hectic, but somehow I was managing. At least I thought I was. Miss Thompson, we need those reports by Friday, my boss said, piling even more work onto my plate. Of course, I'll have them ready, I replied, mentally calculating how I'd fit it all in. That's when I realized I needed help. Enter Jessica Miller, a 25-year-old with glowing references that would make any parent swoon. She was practically a Mary Poppins come to life. I just love children, Jessica said in our interview, her smile warm and reassuring. Your twins will be in great hands. I hired her on the spot. At first, everything was perfect. With Jessica around, I could focus on work, knowing that Lily and Lucas were safe and well cared for. But soon small, unsettling things began to happen. Sarah, are you sure you put away Lily's favorite teddy bear? I can't find it anywhere, Jessica mentioned one evening. I frowned. I'm sure I left it in her crib this morning. Jessica shrugged. You've been so busy lately, it's easy to forget. Little comments like that kept cropping up, making me doubt my own memory and my abilities as a mother. Then, I noticed bruises on my babies. Tiny ones at first, which Jessica quickly dismissed. Oh, Lucas just bumped his arm on the crib, she'd say. Babies are clumsy at this age. But something inside me didn't feel right. The twins' behavior changed too. They became more withdrawn, fussier than usual. When I brought it up, Jessica was quick to reassure me. It's probably just a phase, she suggested. You're probably overthinking it. Stress from work can do that. But my instincts wouldn't let it go. One night, after Jessica had left, I decided to install the nanny cams I had bought. When I tried to plug them in, I realized the outlets I planned to use weren't working. The next day, Jessica casually mentioned it. Oh, did you know some of your outlets aren't working? I noticed when I tried to plug in the baby monitor. A chill ran down my spine. As time went on, my unease grew, but Jessica always had an answer for everything. Sarah, you look exhausted, she said one morning. Are you sure you're ready for that big presentation today? I could stay longer if you need a rest. I forced a smile, shaking my head. No, I got this, thanks. But as I left the house, a gnawing feeling that something was terribly wrong wouldn't leave me. I had no idea how right I was or just how much worse things were about to get. The day that changed everything started like any other. I had rushed to the airport for a presentation that ended up getting canceled last minute. I couldn't wait to get home and hold my babies. But when I walked through the door, something was off. Jessica, Lily, Lucas, I called out. Silence. Cold dread washed over me as I frantically searched every room. The cribs were empty. Jessica's things were gone. No diaper bags, no signs of my twins. My hands shook as I dialed 911. Please help me. My twins. They're missing. My babysitter is gone. The next few hours were a blur. Detective Rodriguez arrived, trying to calm me down. But how could I stay calm? When did you last hear from Jessica? He asked. This morning, she sent a picture of the twins having breakfast, I said, my voice trembling. We'll need all the information you have on her. Full name, references, anything, he instructed. I hurried to find the file I had kept when I hired her. Here, Jessica Miller, 25. Perfect references. Rodriguez's expression darkened as he skimmed through the documents. Ma'am, I think you've been deceived. These references, they are fake. The room spun. No, that can't be. I'm sorry, but the woman you knew as Jessica Miller, her real name is Karen Peterson. She has a history of fraud. I collapsed onto the couch, my chest tight, my world crumbling. Fraud? But what about my babies? Rodriguez's voice was gentle but firm. We're going to need access to your computer and phone records. Anything that might give us a lead. In a haze, I watched as tech teams scoured my home. Hours passed before one of the technicians called out, Detective, you need to see this. On my home laptop, they found hidden folders. Karen, Jessica, had been using my Wi-Fi, my internet, to communicate with people on the dark web. What is this? I whispered, staring at the screen in horror. Rodriguez's jaw tightened. It looks like she's been interacting with potential adopters on the dark web. Adopters. But my babies aren't up for adoption. I screamed, my voice breaking with desperation. One of the tech guys, pale and shaken, spoke up. "Ma'am, we found photos of your twins on illegal adoption sites." The world tilted as I lunged for the trash can, violently sick. When I could finally speak, my voice was hoarse. What did the listing say?" Rodriguez hesitated, his face grim. "They're being advertised as orphans." Something inside me snapped. A scream erupted from me, a sound so raw it didn't even feel human. "My babies? My poor babies." Rodriguez tried to soothe me, his voice steady but distant. "We're doing everything we can, Mrs. Thompson. We've alerted all airports, bus stations, border patrols." But I could barely hear him. All I could see were Lily and Lucas's faces, scared, confused, being handed over to strangers who thought they were orphans. How could this be happening? How? I choked out through sobs. How could I have been so stupid? I let her into our lives. I trusted her. Rodriguez placed a firm hand on my shoulder. "This isn't your fault. Karen Peterson is a professional con artist. She's done this before." My head snapped up. "Before? You mean other babies?" He nodded grimly. "We've suspected her involvement in a larger trafficking ring for a while. But we could never pin her down. Until now." A cold, hard resolve began to replace the panic. "We're going to find her. We're going to find my babies. And then I'm going to make sure she never hurts another family again." Rodriguez studied my face for a moment. "Mrs. Thompson, I know you're angry, but you need to let us handle this. The best thing you can do for your children is to stay put in case he tries to contact you." I nodded, but my mind was already racing. Karen thought she had targeted an easy mark, a busy single mom. But she had no idea who she was messing with. "I'll do whatever you need," I told Rodriguez, my voice firm. "But I want to be involved in every step." He hesitated, then nodded. "All right, but you follow our lead. No vigilant stuff." "Understood," I said, but deep down, I had already made a vow. I would get my babies back, and Karen Peterson, she would wish she'd never crossed paths with Sarah Thompson. The next few days blurred together. Endless hours at the police station, staring at computer screens, sleepless nights wondering where my babies were. Rodriguez was good at his job, but I knew we needed someone even better to track Karen's digital footprint. I picked up the phone and called my old college friend. "Alex, I need your help. It's about my twins." "I'm on the next flight," he replied without hesitation. When Alex arrived, he didn't waste a second. Fingers flew over his keyboard, his eyes scanning the screen with laser focus. "Karen's good," he muttered, "but I'm better." Hours passed in silence, tension thick in the air. Finally, Alex looked up, his expression grim. "Sarah, this goes deeper than we thought. Karen's part of a network. The buyers, they are everywhere." I felt sick again, but I pushed through. "Can we trace them?" Alex nodded slowly. "Yeah, but Sarah, what you're thinking is dangerous." "I don't care," I said, my voice hard. "Tell me the plan." We spent the next day crafting my fake identity, Samantha Walters, a wealthy widow looking to adopt. Detective Rodriguez wasn't happy about it, but he knew it was our best chance. "Remember," he warned, "you're only there to confirm it's Karen and the twins. Let us handle the arrest." I nodded, but my heart was pounding as I typed out the first message to Karen's alias, looking to adopt. "Heard you might be able to help. Discretion assured." Her response came quickly. "Depends on what you're looking for. Preferences?" I swallowed hard, my stomach twisting. "Twins, if possible. Under a year old." A pause. Then, "Might have something. Expensive, though." "Money's no object," I replied, my hands shaking. Each message made my blood boil, but I kept my cool, staying in character. Finally, Karen took the bait. "Meet tomorrow. Luxury hotel downtown, room 1408. Come alone." As we finalized the sting operation, a complication arose. "The hotel's security system is glitching," an officer reported. "We might lose visual inside." "We can't risk it," Rodriguez said, his voice firm. "We'll have to postpone." "No," I shouted, my heart racing. "We might never get another chance. I'm going in, cameras or not." Rodriguez started to argue, but the look in my eyes stopped him. "Fine," Rodriguez relented, "but we'll be right outside. Give us the signal, and we move in." That night, I barely slept. Tomorrow, I would come face to face with the woman who had stolen my children, and one way or another, this nightmare would end. The hotel lobby felt endless as I walked toward the elevator. My heart pounded so loudly I was sure everyone could hear it. "Stay calm," Rodriguez's voice crackled through my hidden earpiece. "We're right outside." I took a deep breath and knocked on the door of room 1408. It opened, and there she was, Karen, or Jessica, the woman who had turned my life upside down. "Mrs. Walters," she said smoothly, flashing a charming smile. "Please come in." I stepped inside, fighting every instinct to lunge at her. "Where are they?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Karen's smile never faltered. Now, business first," she purred. "Do you have the money?" I nodded, opening my briefcase to reveal the stacks of cash. "Now the children." Karen walked over to the bathroom and opened the door. There, in a makeshift playpen, were my babies, Lily and Lucas. My heart ached to rush to them, but I held myself back, barely holding it together. "Beautiful, aren't they?" Karen said casually. "Orphaned in a tragic accident. They'll have a wonderful life with you." Something inside me snapped. "You're right about one thing," I said, my voice ice cold. "They will have a wonderful life with me, their mother." Karen's face drained of color. "What?" "Surprise?" I spat. "Did you really think you'd get away with this?" She lunged for the door, but I was faster. We grappled, her nails raking across my cheek. "Now," I screamed into my earpiece. The door burst open as Rodriguez and his team swarmed in, quickly subduing Karen and an accomplice hiding in the closet. I rushed to my twins, scooping them up into my arms, sobbing as I held them close. "Mommy's here," I whispered, kissing their heads. "You're safe now." The next few months were a whirlwind. Karen's arrest led to the takedown of a massive trafficking ring. I testified in court, watching as she and her accomplices were sentenced to decades in prison. As the dust settled, I realized I couldn't go back to my old life. Those babies I had fought so hard for deserved a mother who was present, who knew the evil in the world, but fought to make it better. 1 year later, I stood on a stage, addressing a packed charity gala. The Sarah Thompson Foundation is committed to supporting victims of child trafficking and their families, I said, my voice strong. Because no child should ever be treated as a commodity, and no parent should ever know the pain of having their child stolen. As I finished my speech to thunderous applause, a news alert flashed on my phone. Karen Peterson denied appeal, will serve full sentence. I smiled as I put my phone away. Karen's story was over, but for me and my babies, ours was just beginning. Now I have a question for you. If you were in my position, would you have gone undercover to confront Karen, knowing the risks? Or would you have left it entirely to the authorities? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective could help others facing tough decisions. And if this story resonated with you, please consider liking and subscribing. Your support helps us bring more real-life stories of triumph over adversity to light.